moment is at the far end of the lake. This is what we call the dual pipe system. There are two slightly larger overflow pipes that actually come underneath this concrete platform that we're actually standing on at the moment. As we look in this direction, this is called the Bridle Way. Anyway, during an investigation, a nighttime investigation at this particular point, we had a character come from over there, and he looked like some sort of a backpacker. He'd got sort of like the pack on his back was similar to what you'd imagine an army bloke to wear, you know, sort of like a rucksack type thing. The clothing was very sort of unusual. Didn't seem to be sort of like modern clothing at all. Quite a tall, slim fellow, and he spoke to us and basically asked us what we would do. He seemed to be quite knowledgeable about the area. He said about the lady of the manor that had actually been pulled from a horse on the Bridle Way by robbers that had come out from that were hiding in the bushes. And when he spoke, it was as though he was talking about something that actually happened sort of like, you know, a few weeks ago, relative to him. And everybody that was with us, so they saw this chap, and then he walked off in that direction. We saw him walk off in that direction. Now it's quite overgrown at the moment, so I don't know, you're not going to see a great deal because of the lighting conditions at the moment, but we had a clear view for a considerable distance. He's not going to veer off the path. We turned, we looked back, he'd vanished. And there are other people that have had experiences where they've met people, or met a person, should I say. The person seems to be knowledgeable, seems to know, basically almost like what they already know themselves, which makes it interesting that somebody else should be. It's almost like getting feedback, and this has happened to, you know, a number of times. So we're starting to wonder, you know, as to what this thing might be, or whether it's associated with this so-called Owlman or Mothman, as to whether there's some sort of an illusion being projected of shape or form, and that this thing is something different to what we actually perceive it to be at the time. I think when Cherill and Simon met up with this different character, there was an interesting remembrance in terms of the dialect. One thought it sounded in a particular dialect, and another thought it was in a totally different, but not dialects that you can actually confuse with one another, and subtle differences in the way that they were perceived to be dressed as well. Anyway, so see what happens as the night goes on.